Welcome everybody to Phandom Nights News, where we talk about what's poppin' in pop culture.
Pop. What's going on, guys?
Slow week.
Not
honestly.
a whole lot.
Yeah, kind of the series finale of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Which I think was like the biggest thing, really.
It was.
No, the biggest thing is they revealed Yoda's species name. Yeah. In Mandalorian Episode 9, the mechanic reveals Yoda's species name for the first time when she calls the child a little womp rat, which also tells us why they're so rare. They're all dead from being bullseyed by Luke Skywalker in his T-16.
Jesus Christ!
He got all excited. He got so excited. He's like,
no, I did not.
He got frustrated.
I got frustrated
so ticked off
and skeptical because I would have heard something, and I knew your sources are from Reddit, which is nothing.
Questionable at best.
No. It's absolutely garbage.
That's why I said at best it's
So
questionable.
that was my user who died with a clean blade on Reddit, so thank you very much for that. It made me laugh.
I hope you delete your account.
I was like, don't throw Star Wars under the bus right now, because Justin will murder you.
Well, because you're like, I didn't hear this. Oh, God.
Oh, no. It's not that I didn't hear it. It's that I would have heard it.
Yeah, I know.
With the number of Star Wars
If it was
pages.
Yoda's species gets announced, I'm sorry, that breaks.
That's a huge name.
That's bigger than the Queen dying. I mean, probably not, but
She's
for me,
gonna live
is.
forever, dude.
Okay, I'll start with
She's literally Emperor Palpatine. Oh, do you think maybe she'll have Megan or Kate like strike her down and become all of the Sith?
I don't know.
It's a joke.
Or do you think
I'll start with a
do you think the
simple-
real reason Princess Diana died was so that she could like absorb the rest of her life force and like live longer?
Jeez.
That too, man. She's secretly Agatha Harkness.
Jeez. I didn't know who you were talking about. Okay. Gosh.
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
The old chick who lives in England.
That's why, like, when Harry got married, like, there were so many memes about, like, Queen Elizabeth, like, looking at Meghan's, like, the back of her head. She's like, I can't use a car accident. I've already used that one.
Oh, my gosh.
That's awesome.
I saw a picture of Harry, and it was on this YouTube or podcast channel or whatever, and they were showing a picture, and they're trying to see if it was faked or not. And he just looks so old, and he had, like, the corn teeth and stuff. And this comedian dude, he's like, he looks worse than Princess Diana does now. And I'm like, good Lord. Jeez.
Oh yes.
This is so bad.
Considering one is bones.
Anyways, all right, let's talk about news. So, an actual news story, A Quiet Place 2, the release date has moved up to May 28th. So, that's over...
In theaters or
In
on...
theaters. That's when they're going to release it, yeah.
They're not releasing it, like, simultaneously on any kind of platform?
Not that I know of, no.
Because it's supposed to come out, like, 2 months later on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was the spot that Fast and the Furious 9 was going to... Or F9 was going to take.
Mm-hmm.
So, they moved that, and then A Quiet Place took that spot, and it's just crazy that A Quiet Place, like, the critics and stuff saw it, like, over a year ago now, or almost over a year ago now. By the time it's released, it'll be a year and 2 months. So, like, since it was going to be released, but then they stopped because coronavirus came out, and now they're moving it to May 28th. So
nothing compared to James Bond, dude.
I know. But I'm
like
saying
2 years.
every movie is, like, delayed. This one,
Right.
by a year or 14 months. It's just crazy. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. Dustin, what do you got?
So the Obi-Wan Kenobi series adds Indira Varma in an unknown role. Do you guys know who that actress is? I don't either.
Okay.
She,
Is there a picture of her?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's from Game of Thrones.
Okay, so that chick
she was
is
in
going to
Game
be
of Thrones?
Yeah.
She's so she plays Oberyn Martell's like love interest.
I just started rewatching the series Rome on HBO Max. Have you ever seen that show? It's so
I haven't
good.
actually.
It's like the most historically accurate.
I
thing
heard it
I've
was like
ever heard.
Spartacus without all the sex.
It still has a little bit of that, but it's mostly just like the politics of Julius Caesar coming to power, and she plays the wife of a centurion in that show, like the everyday Roman that they follow around. So I don't know, it's just kind of cool.
The Joe Schmo of ancient Rome.
What do you got, Sherman? Anything?
I got nothing this week.
Yeah,
man.
nothing. Okay.
Oh no, I do. So they're bringing back a new an old set of Magic cards.
Didn't you talk about that already?
No, next week. It's called Time Spiral Remastered.
Oh,
so they're
okay.
just reprinting a bunch of like old cards from like 2008 ish.
Oh, okay.
With just different borders.
That's kind of cool. Another smallish one, but Chadwick Boseman's wife, Simone Ledward Boseman, tearfully accepted his posthumous Golden Globe Award, which is kind of cool and sad. But what was that movie for? What was it for? What movie was it? Was it for? I don't actually remember.
It was the last movie he just made about the
Yeah.
bridges or something, I think.
Yeah.
The bridges closing down and finding the manhunt or whatever. Black Adam begins shooting next month.
Yes, finally.
Dwayne The Rock. Can you smell
Have you
what
watched?
The Rock is cooking?
Have you watched any of that Young Rock show? I haven't.
No,
Just wondering.
I mean I do want to, but
Yeah.
I just
It's on my
haven't.
list, but
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
It looks very. I don't know. I don't know how honest they can be with his real backstory in a TV sitcom, but
Ooh, I got a new story for Sherman that he'd like.
yeah.
So they updated the cast for the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Nice.
So they have Chris Pine, Hugh Grant,
Oh, I would see that one.
Michelle Rodriguez from Fast and Furious. Sophia Lillis. That person.
Oh, she's in it.
And then this is the guy from Detective Pikachu, Justice Smith.
Oh, that's who that is. Okay.
He'll be in the
I like that
Dungeons and
guy.
Dragons. And then I don't know how to say this guy, but Regé Jean Page. Jean Page.
Jean Page?
Regé Jean Page.
Maybe? I don't know.
So that's the updated cast for the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis, who did John Francis Daly, who did Game Night.
Ooh, Hugh Grant will be the main villain.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird.
Huh.
Hugh Grant is a villain.
Weird.
I could see it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Patrick Star show? Did you guys hear about that?
No.
A SpongeBob spin-off show called the Patrick Star Show. It's coming up pretty soon here on Paramount Plus. So that'd be kind of weird.
I can't imagine.
A world without SpongeBob.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
I can't see it
SpongeBob's
lasting
kind of
very long.
Yeah, maybe just a small series, or if it ends up being good, yeah, whatever.
Because like there's an episode where like SpongeBob literally asks Patrick like, "What do you do all day? Like when I'm at work?" He's like, "I wait for you to get home."
Yeah, it's
like,
just gonna be him sitting under a rock the whole
Yeah.
time.
So the official Twitter page, I forgot. This is kind of funny. They posted writing bios today. Who wants one? And so the Spider-Man No Way Home posted, "What you got for me?" And so Twitter says, "Spider-Man No Way Home, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield, only in movie theaters this Christmas."
Andrew Garfield.
No reply. Like
Wow.
Twitter was making bios for the movie
Yeah.
on their Twitter page. They did it
I like how they...
with the whole rumors or whatever. Didn't comment on it back. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Interesting.
Which is weird because like
Because Tom Holland just said those guys aren't in
yeah, exactly.
Oh, he just said that they're not in
it.
it?
He said he's like I've been filming for a while and he's like I haven't seen these guys, so like I don't know if that's true.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I
I've
mean
been filming
pulling our
for a
legs.
while and I haven't seen
Tom,
them.
well, not yeah.
You might not
I mean,
see
Tom
them
Holland,
until the end.
like Disney's PR, like people are probably like on his back, be like, "All right, man, you can't say a word."
They're
like,
probably like, we're not even going to give you... You're Spider-Man. You're not even going to get the script until the day of. You're going to memorize the lines that day. You're not even going to see the full story. We're going to film it from like the last scene, the middle scene. This like we're just going to jump around. You're not going to know what's going to go
He
on.
does videos sometimes of him like unboxing stuff sent from Marvel and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he did get a script once, and he was going through the script, and he's like, "Everything's blacked out, but my lines."
that would be
Like everything has
hilarious.
That's
black
hilarious.
lines through it except for my lines. He's like, "I have no idea what happens in the movie, only of the words that I'm saying. And I don't know
That's
what
so
the heck is
crazy.
going on in here."
That's so crazy. I wonder if that's true. Or
It'd
I
be
think he
hard
showed
to
a
do
page
though,
and had
it
a
would be
bunch of
very
black
hard to
lines.
do
because
you have
like
to
you
react
would need to
things.
know what your cue is to
Right.
like when do you start talking.
Yeah.
You just because otherwise it's gonna be like really awkward pauses. Like
No, don't do that.
But I mean, there's been a lot of times in cinema where they don't tell the actors about something to try to get a real reaction out of things. Too.
Yeah.
So I can see maybe that. But
Like my favorite one is the Die Hard one with Hans Gruber's hanging off the thing, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna drop you on 3. 1." Drops him. Whoa.
Similar thing that they did in The Martian when Donald Glover like wakes up and like trips and falls.
Yeah.
That was actually happened.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
He's like, nope, perfect. We're gonna use it.
Yeah. The Lord of the Rings is releasing their 4K edition, and so they're having 3 different reunions, like virtual reunions with the cast on March 25th, April 1st, and April 8th for The Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. So I don't know, it's just kind of cool. They're all going to get together, and there's different people each meeting. It's kind of a big long list, but I don't know. It's kind of cool that they're all just
Christopher
gonna get together.
Lee is the only one who's died so far.
Yeah,
rest
I
in
think
peace,
so.
Count.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's cool, and honestly, that's the one thing that's kind of I'm either all on streaming stuff or on Blu-rays if I ever buy anything now, and I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I should get a 4K because that would be sweet to see Lord of the Rings in 4K.
Dude, extended 4K would be beautiful.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that I think about it, Lord of the Rings Extended Edition is on HBO Max. I wonder if that's in 4K. But still, it's streaming, so it glitches out every once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll like watch something on HD on a streaming service, and then I'll like put in the Blu-ray that I have of it just to see the difference. And I'm like, man, Blu-ray is just so much more beautiful. There's no way to match it, you know. It's still clear, but there's something about it where it just looks a lot better with the disc because it's actually reading from there, not having to be compressed and streamed. And I don't know.
Did you guys know that the Count Dooku scenes from, well, both movies, Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, was all CGI? His arm movements for Christopher Lee.
Really?
He couldn't like lift his arms very high because he was super old and stuff like that. Huh. And so any scene that you see him like, other than like at his side when he's holding his sword, those are all real. But anything where he's actually doing movement is all either another actor or CGI arms moving.
Wow.
It's kind of cool.
Not gonna lie, when you said rest in peace Count, I did not think Star Wars. I immediately thought Dracula.
Oh, because he does play Dracula too, yeah.
It was one of like his first roles.
Him and Peter Cushing were big horror movie actors.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh wait, Star Wars, yeah.
Another one?
The last thing I have is Sony PlayStation Store will end, speaking of streaming, they're going to end its TV video on demand purchases and rentals.
Because waste.
Yeah, there's so many other services that do it, but they made quite a bit of money off of their on demand. I don't remember what it was, but it was like $3 billion last year alone in movie purchases. Everything was going up because of the pandemic. Everyone was buying video on demand either on Vudu or all these different things, and so they made $3 billion in rentals and 20 billion or 2.3 billion, excuse me, 2.3 billion on purchases. So I don't know, they're making tons of money, and it was increasing. Their sales were increasing for all the stuff, but then they closed it off. So,
well, when you just see the future of streaming wars,
yeah,
everything's going to
they're
be
probably just like, we need to focus
off
on what we need to focus on. Cut this other thing, even though we're making money on it. But it just freaks me out, and it's kind of making me doubt myself because like I'm relatively all in with Vudu with all my streaming stuff, because whenever you get a Blu-ray or something with the digital code, you can redeem it on different platforms, and I've just always done Vudu. At one point I was iTunes, then I was kind of Amazon because I know they're not going to go under anytime soon, but then Vudu was just so convenient, and you could import all your iTunes and other things into it, so any online streaming content that I own is on Vudu. And it's like, man, I remember when like iTunes first came out, and I always bought CDs for things. Even when I would buy it digitally, I'd still have the CD backup. But it's just crazy that at some point, you know, a company like, what if Vudu just all of a sudden goes out of business, and they say, yep, we're not going to offer any more video on demand stuff. You can still stream your stuff for a little while, just like Sony. Like they're still going to allow people to stream the ones that they purchased, but at some point they're going to be like, we're paying all this money for servers that are not making us any money. Let's just shut them off. You know, it's just kind of scary to me. At some point, you could have spent hundreds or thousands of dollars sometimes on your movie library,
Oh, yeah.
and it can just disappear because some companies like, we don't want to do that anymore. So, I mean, it's happened with people's like photo backup apps and different things like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
Hard copies, man.
I know. It just makes me want to buy hard copies of stuff now. But yeah, that's all I got for news. Dustin, you got anything else?
Warner Brothers is rumoring to be producing a Harry Potter and the Cursed Child movie, which would be super cool. You guys ever read that?
I haven't actually.
Oh,
super good.
was that the play?
Yeah,
that
it was a screenplay that was
Yeah.
written by J.K. Rowling and some other guy in Europe.
Okay.
But the story premise is basically takes place right after the end of 7 or whatever. Not like immediately, but like with Harry's kids and stuff like that.
Oh.
And it
cool.
takes place, and the whole story is about like the kids essentially, like Harry's kids, Ron's kids, all this stuff. And then the whole major villain is Voldemort's daughter.
You had a daughter?
Read the book and find out. I have the book. You can borrow it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, when I was friends with that neighbor Sam, she's a Harry Potter nerd, and so she got me into Harry Potter, and that's when I bought the book and read it. It's a super good story though.
Yeah,
I've been wanting them to make it a movie, but then there's also rumors that they're going to make more Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Just of the plain storyline. I guess this would be one of the installments.
I'm surprised they haven't for a long time, but the mania around it's kind of died off, even with the
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, it's still there, and there's still diehard fans who are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, like I think we've talked about this before, but if it has nothing to do with the Potters, I just don't care a whole lot.
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't have anything to do with any of the central characters. I understand Dumbledore's in it and he has a role, but I mean, it's not centrally about him. It's centrally about Newt or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah.
New Star Trek movie in the works. J.J. Abrams and Star Trek Discovery writer Galinda Vasquez are attached to the project. Look cool. I like the new Chris Pine Star Trek
Oh,
movies.
I like those ones, yeah. I haven't seen Star Trek Discovery or the Picard show at all.
Okay.
But I've heard that it's bad, so I don't know.
If it's the same, if it's with Chris Pine, and like it's just the 4th installment of the movie series, I'm kind of curious if it's going to be a good one or not.
Yeah.
Star Trek tends to have bad luck with even number movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's weird because it's the opposite of the first set.
I just, like, within the last year, watched through all 3 Star Treks, and I honestly can't tell you what happens in the third one. I know that the second one's about Khan, and the first one's the first one.
What movie are you talking about?
Star Trek. The newer Star Treks.
Oh, sure.
I don't remember what the third one's about. For the
So-
life of me. It's just like generic sci-fi action. That's all I can remember.
Well, and that's what was cool about the third one was it was a mission. Like it wasn't like some like huge like conspiracy theory or like essentially like a remake, but it was a new story.
Yeah.
For like a long away mission.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have for news. Do you got anything else?
Nope.
Okay. So since we don't have anything else, let's talk really quick. Well, as long as it takes about our zombie survival plan. I want to figure out what your guys are. So I remember when I was in high school, like a thing that people would say was, "You're only a true nerd if you have a zombie survival plan."
Have you thought about one?
Do you have a zombie survival plan?
No, we've been talking about news. Haven't had a second to think about it yet.
You've never thought about it?
Never thought about it?
Oh, I mean, obviously, but not serious.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's never gonna happen. Why think about?
And maybe
why
not
waste
just-
time thinking about something
Because
that's
it's
never
fun to think
happen?
about.
No.
So do you have a zombie survival plan?
Yeah,
Sean?
you guys go ahead.
I've
Mine's very
I've
basic.
thought about it for a long time. The only thing that's changed about mine is like the people involved,
Okay.
because like for the longest time I would always get Chris Watton with me,
Yeah.
because like dude is just obsessed with like guns
Yeah.
and
Well,
like
and he lived up here.
he's a super
yeah.
huge nerd.
Yeah.
But like since he moved away, I'm like, I don't know if I would want to drive like 3
Actually,
hours.
Chris Watton was the one who told me that, like, oh, you're only a true nerd or something if you, or he was like joking and kind of being self-deprecating, like, oh, I don't remember how he worded it, but like yeah, you're a really true nerd when you have a zombie survival plan. And then he was talking to me because we were in home ec class together, and he's like, "So do you have one?" And I had the same answer that you had. Like I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's not that big of a deal. And he's like, "Oh, okay. So this is mine." And he just like launched into it. And he talked like the whole hour about his zombie survival plan.
Oh my god!
And I loved every minute of it. It got me thinking about it. I'm like, man, what would I do? I don't know what I would do. I think his was because we live in Duluth, Minnesota, and his was to like take over the William A. Irvin or something like that at the time. Yeah. It's probably changed since then. But so what's yours, Sherman?
So
you don't have to go into all the details because you don't want to tell everybody. But
no. So in my initial like thing would be to either run to. Now that we have a Fleet Farm, I'd probably run to Fleet Farm.
Okay.
But I would loot the crap out of it. Like guns, they have tons of food, like survival stuff. Like just load up like one of their like vans or something full of it.
One of their vans?
Well,
you'd steal a van too.
I mean, yeah.
Where would you get the car keys?
Yeah, where would you get the van keys?
I mean, if it's their company vehicle, like they're bound to have keys in like their.
Good luck looking through the whole store for.
So your first step is to
find
van keys.
See,
okay, that's your first step.
No. So this is where my like.
You're not gonna go loot everything and then be like, okay, we need this stuff.
So when you go over your plan, we need to question you.
My employment history has taught me. I know exactly where I would look if like I'm trying to find like a transport vehicle owned by the company that like I'm looting from.
So you'd go up to Home Furniture first because you know where all those keys are.
I do actually.
You'd get those vans, then you'd go up to Fleet Farm.
Well, yeah, that'd be a moving van, right?
Yeah,
bigger, more
that's
space.
a good idea.
I mean, yeah, but like I'm trying to get like where I would want to go. I would not take a moving van. I would get like an actual like cargo van,
like
not a moving truck.
Yeah.
Like.
You could load up with more stuff if you had a moving van, though.
True, but like where I want to go, I wouldn't necessarily need it all.
Okay, where would you want to go?
So loot guns, food, and like your basic survival stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then my original plan when I first started thinking about this was when I was working at Home Furniture, and I'm like I would loot the crap out of Gander Mountain or one of these places up here, and then like barricade the warehouse up there.
At Home
Furniture because their warehouse is like almost impenetrable.
There's so many comfy beds,
dude. Yeah, there's tons of mattresses, furniture. You could like do whatever, like, and there's one roof hatch that you can only get to through the building.
Okay.
So like I'm like, all right, we just barricade the front door, the warehouse door, and that's all. That's all we got to worry about. Now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out to the cabin with like Pete's dad and like their family because it's out in the middle of nowhere,
right?
And like apparently his Pete's uncle Steve was like a prepper kind of.
Oh.
So there are already guns like buried in the ground, like around
buried what
in the ground around this cabin. I'm not even kidding.
How are they buried and not like damaged?
You just wrap them up and like.
Why did we bury them?
So
because he's like a legit prepper and he's all paranoid about stuff.
Yeah. So dude was a lawyer for a living, and like he had this thought. So if you set off an EMP 1 mile above, like the center of
for sure. There's a book called 1 Second After by William Forstchen. And it's terrifying.
Right.
If the power got knocked out to our country, that's what's probably going to happen.
That's what started this conversation. Yeah. We were all talking about it while we were like drinking around the cabin. So we'd head up there and just wait because it's literally where it's located. 1 road in, 1 road out. That's it.
Okay.
And like the guys who like hunt up there know that area so well,
right.
And the ground's actually surprisingly fertile. Like we could grow our own stuff if we have to be out there long enough.
Okay, so say a wave of zombies comes into the like what happens in like Walking Dead and stuff like that, like a herd of zombies of 10,000 come marching through. How are you going to survive up there?
What do you mean?
How are you going to survive in the cabin if there's a herd of zombies walking through? Like,
murder the crap out of them. What are you talking about?
You're not going to have 10,000 bullets, like, and you're not going to be able to hit all of them. And if you shoot one of them, they're all going to all come at you. Like, there's not
the more noise you make, the more zombies.
There's not as much protection.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you go out to the middle of nowhere, like So, especially in, like, The Walking Dead, like, with just regular walkers, like, the best places that they've ever gone to are, like, middle of nowhere. Like, you don't want to go to civilization.
Right.
Where there's going to be, more people, which means more potential zombies.
Yeah.
You want to go out into, like, nobody's going to find you.
Yeah. Right. Far away from people. So that's your plan. Go steal a van, load up on stuff, drive up to the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Hopefully hook up with somebody out there.
What do you mean hook up with somebody? I wouldn't even think
I'm just saying. Like,
oh.
Because they would know. Like,
you said hook up, and I'm like, why would I be thinking about sex?
I'm talking about meet up with, like, everyone up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Where's this cabin located? I might have to adjust my plan. So, when I was younger, my first plan, like, I completely agreed with Chris Watton when he first told me his plan, like, go take over the William A. Irvin, because it's a boat.
Right.
On, like, off the shore a little bit. There's a 26-foot deep trench under there, so any zombies, you'd have to have
again.
You'd have to have so many zombies to, like, fill that up, so then they could crawl up. There's no way they'd be able to get into the boat.
Oh, yeah.
But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh man, you wouldn't be able to have any food in there. You wouldn't be able to, like, how much food could you really stock up and bring in there? And you'd have to have all these little excursions to go out and get food.
Oh, absolutely.
So then I, like, adjusted it to, one day I was driving by Wheeler Field out in West Duluth, and I'm like, man, it's the most castle-like thing in our city, you know, and it has these big walls that are all around, and there's this big baseball field in the middle, and there's just, you know, a small number of access points. There's no way that they'd be able to get enough things to crawl over these walls or break through them.
Sorry, but the zombies in World War Z.
No, I know. I'm showing you my development of my plan.
Yeah.
So, even if they could get over each other, like, there'd be a point where you'd be able to kill them all, and then, you know, I don't know. You'd be able to protect yourself because there's giant walls all the way around there. You know, there's like 12-foot walls all the way around Wheeler Field.
So who would you bring with you then?
Well, my family, first of all. My initial thing would be get my family all together, probably go loot somewhere. We'd just pack a couple clothes and stuff like that. But
I might get some crap for this. I'm sorry, but, like, I would totally leave my mom behind.
Oh, no, I'm saying I would bring Rosie and Rhea. That would be my primary
thing.
No,
I get that, but, like,
you two, other
like,
family.
I live with my mom, but, like,
guys, I would need to, like, and it depends on the severity of, like, what's going on. If you go outside and there's zombies everywhere, like, instantly, like, okay, we need to just protect our family, get somewhere safe right now.
Yeah.
But if you see one zombie, like, in the cities, and you drive straight up here, and then, like, okay, let's get grandma, let's get our family together, figure out a plan, then go hide. Depends on the severity of it, but initially, grab Rosie, grab the kid, and go loot somewhere and hide out at Wheeler Field was my initial thing, because then you can farm in that little area. There's sun, there's shelter in the building there, and it's a pretty good area, but it's in the city. So my next
not only that, but West Duluth, which is, like, fairly populated.
I don't know. I think I'd...
Full of crackheads, no less.
Right?
Not full of, but
I suppose society crumbles down and there's no drugs, then
so, like, I've had to
crazy.
So here's the thing for me. Like, going out to the cabin, I've walked it before. Because we actually couldn't get up there one year in a truck.
Right.
3-hour walk.
Oof, that's crazy.
In the snow.
Yeah. So my third plan, after I've developed that, and I'm like, wait, you don't want to be downtown, all that stuff, like, that's not good, is to go to a cabin in the middle of nowhere. And honestly, right now, I don't know which cabin I would go to. If it all of a sudden happened today, I'd probably go up to, like, Tim and Trisha's cabin, because I know where that is. I've been there. We hunted up there, and they have same deal. It takes a long time to get in there, big piece of land, all this stuff, you know, and it's close enough to, like, cook or something that you're not, like, completely in the middle of nowhere, but you're like at least a couple hours away from there. I don't know. So that's my plan now. But then, like, in the movies, zombies, and it depends on the type of zombies. It depends on if they're slow ones, if they're fast ones like World War Z, and if it's real world and there's no magical stuff going on. One winter, they're all gone. They're just all gone. Go throw a piece of meat out on the ground, you know, and let it freeze and then thaw over the winter. Like, there's no possible way a zombie would be able to survive a Minnesota winter. Right. Like, you'd be screwed if you lived in LA or something like that. But even then, the rot on, like, a corpse or something like that they'd be disintegrated within a week. I don't think they would last as long. as it's depicted in, like, The Walking Dead goes on for what, like 6 seasons. There's like multiple years worth of these zombies coming. Where are they all coming from? How are they not all rotting away? I don't understand.
So what, like, how far into The Walking Dead did you get?
Probably like 4 seasons in or something like that.
So, like, I mean, so you know that, like, they reveal it in, like, season 3 when, like, Shane dies. Like, sorry, spoilers.
He didn't say it yet.
That, like, they're all infected.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, they constantly have new zombies, like, every time somebody dies.
I get that, but every once in a while there's, again, a big herd of them that comes through. And, okay, there wasn't 10,000 people that survived the initial apocalypse and are dead to... I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. In the real world, yes, a zombie apocalypse would not happen. And if it did happen, all you have to do is just survive a year. 1 year. That's a long time, and it would be a horrible year, but once you survived, then everything's fine. Because they're not going to last that long.
Right. Why wouldn't they survive the winter?
Because it would freeze up. They would freeze up. There'd be other animals out there that would eat that. Like, it just... I don't know. Especially in the middle of nowhere.
Is it depicted that animals would eat zombies?
Also...
Animals or crows or just scavenging animals are around. If you
if
kill a deer and it's sitting on the side of the road, it doesn't stay there forever.
Yeah, but how do you know the zombies are going to die from the cold?
If you freeze a piece of meat and you try to bend the meat,
if you're constantly walking and constantly moving.
And again, that's what it depends on what type of zombie it is.
Not only that,
we're talking about Walking Dead zombies.
Yeah.
So I'm more curious about, like, with an infection and reanimating dead tissue, would it be more like how frogs are? Because, like, you can freeze a frog,
maybe,
and then they don't die.
Yeah, maybe that'd be a terrifying springtime. All the snow's thawing, and you see all these bodies everywhere. You're like, we got to get out there right now. They're coming back alive.
That would actually be, like, almost better for, like, us in, like, growing up in the north, because like second, like, February hits, when, like, you get, like, that initial thaw, like what we've been dealing with, I'd be like, all right, we need to get on the move, safer spot.
I remember the first or second season of Walking Dead, when they're just the first one, when they're all just out in the woods. I'm like, why are you not, like, in something with a fence or like a prison that they go into eventually, or like go somewhere that's safe? Because if you're in the middle of the woods, they can just come into your tent. But if you go in the middle of nowhere, you kind of know when things are around. You know, it is a lot safer, especially if you can see a little ways around you. You know, so I don't know.
What would you do, Dustin?
So I would go probably Mill's Fleet Farm, grab
Everyone goes to Fleet
anything
Farm.
you need.
Maybe that's not the best place to go.
Or Walmart, don't really matter. Anywhere to get seeds, like shovels, planting materials and stuff, water, maybe a week's worth of food, a couple weeks worth of food. And then I'd go to my grandpa's house and grab all of his weapons and bullets, because he has more than stores will have by the time you get there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I guess I'd probably take Papa with me.
Even now, there's no zombie apocalypse going on. You go to a ammo store or any gun supply, and there's no...
Considering that when you try to buy ammo now, you can only buy a certain amount. You can't just buy out the whole store anymore.
Yeah, right.
Like, as soon as a zombie apocalypse happens, everyone's just going to grab a cart full of ammo.
Oh, for sure.
So by the time you get there...
There's going to be one dude with all of the 9mm, and
then he's going to get shot by the other guy who wants all that ammo. Like, chaos.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I wouldn't be, like, upset. I'd just, like... All right, well, I will be fine settling with, like, a bow and arrow. Or a crossbow, like Daryl does.
Yeah. I have plenty of shotgun slugs and rounds. I think for meat, I think it'd be fine. And protection. But that's not the best either, because it's shotgun, so I don't know.
Who else would you bring, though?
No one.
Just you and your pop?
I mean, if he wants to go.
What? So...
He just wants to sit in his own hut.
So, in, like, the off
chance, you can take some of my guns, not all of them, Justin.
See, like, the reason I would go up to, like, the cabin for, like, us is, like, I know that, like, Pete's dad would be up there.
Well, the crazy thing to think about is if society collapsed, like the power goes out, in that 1 Second After book where they talk about just the nuclear bomb going off and shutting off all the power to the United States, medication and just different things like that doesn't exist anymore. So if you're on insulin, you're dead within a couple months or weeks or whatever it takes. So, like, I don't know. There's a lot of people and family members who you're just like, I'm going to bring you with because I want to be with you in the last little bit here, but we're not going to survive very long as a family.
See,
anymore.
and that's why I was saying, like, the reason I would go up there is because I know that Pete's dad would show up, like, there with, like, his family.
Yeah.
Because, like, on the off chance, like, we actually do have to, like, go back to, like, civilization and, like, rebuild, you know, or whatever. I wouldn't be worried about, like, medical stuff up there because Pete's dad used to be a nurse.
Oh.
So, like, all right, anybody gets hurt, we're good.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, education, totally fine because, like, their family's full of teachers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. We're,
Man, thinking about this
lawyers.
Thinking about this is a lot more real than what it was when I was a teenager. It was like fun to just think about, like, oh, I do this and I choose this.
Yeah, but like the way, like,
but now it's like, oh man, this is real. Like,
yeah, especially with the way, like,
with us and
our country's been going lately.
Yeah. Right. Now
I mean,
I thought this was gonna be fun.
No, we had like talks of like Civil War last year, and like
yeah,
and this year again with like the inauguration.
Well, yeah, I mean, after the first, when January 6th, the riots were happening at the Capitol and stuff, I come home and the internet's been dead all day. So I come in and Rosie's like, the internet shut off and there's an attack at the Capitol. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I just gotta process this for a second. I can't be freaking out with you. It wasn't that bad. It was just a coincidence. But I'm like, if something bad did happen in our country, like, okay, the internet would be shut off.
Right.
Yep, that was something that would happen. That, okay, but I can still Google stuff on the cell network and the power's still on. I don't know. It's going to happen. Something's going to happen at some point. And maybe, I don't know. And if it does, like, we're going to be caught unaware like that. It's just going to be on a normal day like this. And then all of a sudden we leave after this and the world's just falling apart. And you're like, what the heck just happened? Ah, okay. There was a bomb that went off. Like, I don't know.
The other tough part is, like, people who have had zero interest in, like, spending time out in the woods or, like, learning any form of survival.
Yeah.
Like, some people would be screwed.
Yeah. Well, I'd be sort of in that bracket. I mean, I'd be able to survive enough, but I don't know. It'd be crazy.
So then I would go to, after I stop at Grandpa's house, I'd grab all of his weapons, him if he wants to come, grab his boat, and then we'd go to Isle Royale, and then we're fine forever.
Isle Royale? What's that? Where is that?
On Lake Superior.
Oh,
the biggest island on Lake Superior.
Way up north?
Not way up north, but north.
Yeah,
it's
going
like,
to an island would be a...
It's like straight across from like it's kind of far, but like Grand Marais or whatever up there. Two Harbors or whatever.
I would want to do that if it was like a place that
Isle Royale does have like some small cabins and like resort, a resort, but like resort like buildings and stuff like that. And so I mean, there is shelter there.
Man,
there is animals there you can kill.
There's a couple
shoot.
customers of mine like up in.
The cool thing about the whole lake is that it freezes in the wintertime, so then you can actually walk back to the mainland if you need to, because that's how wolves and other animals get to Isle Royale.
Right.
So that's my plan. Pretty basic. I'll never die.
Man, now I'm thinking about islands. Maybe my plan will change. Maybe I'll go out to like Mackinac Island or something. There's plenty of horses out there, all the houses. The big thing in Minnesota is you'd have to find somewhere that will be able to make you survive during the winter.
You gotta be able to have meat.
Well, I'm just thinking about heat, not meat, but the heat itself. Like if we just bunker down at your house currently, the ceilings are so high. It's a huge place you have to heat. The propane's going to go out relatively soon. You need to have a small little tight cabin.
Technically, the propane would last 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
That's how long a tank usually lasts for more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have 3 months, and then you're dead. I mean, you don't have heat. You don't have water. Then you like.
See, for our cabin,
but the pipes would freeze.
Generator.
You have to get gas. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of
gas station.
The gas stations aren't gonna have power. How are you gonna get the gas out of the tank? How are you gonna get the gas out of the tank?
Well, not at that time, no.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm saying, you think
bucket and a rope.
So you're saying that as soon as there's a zombie outbreak, power's out immediately.
Not immediately, but
so you will have time to get gas and all these other things. Just like you'll have time to go to the store and get food and all this other stuff.
But during times like this, like a lot of people just go stock up on. Everyone goes up and fills up gas. Like those tanks at like Quick Trip or something are like 10,000 gallons, but that goes up in a day, easy. Especially if everyone's freaking out, everyone's traveling, everyone's trying to get there. If they have power, all that gas is gone.
All right, so here's why I love like going my plan for the cabin, because like our cabin is in all reality it's a hunting shack.
Yeah,
it's small. We've got bunk beds, so we can fit like I think we've actually fit like 13 people in there at once.
Yeah.
And like
but you have to go somewhere with a wood stove.
It has a wood stove.
Right, yeah.
It has like electricity like
at some point the propane, the gas, all that stuff is going to be gone. And
we've got a wood stove, tons of candles up there.
Yeah. Just sitting over a candle.
No. So seriously, like like we're gonna be going up there pretty soon, and like we're not bringing a generator. We're not going to do anything. Right. It's all by candlelight.
Yeah.
And like
that's super cool. Yeah.
And like
I gotta get myself outhouse. A cabin, or like I gotta get myself some type of thing like that. That'd be so cool.
We've got an outhouse. Yeah. The only thing I would be worried about is running out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Between
like 13 people.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. It's kind of fun to think about, but now I'm kind of depressed. Actually.
If we do need gas for a generator, though, best part is there's a gas station. Like if you get to like the main road, there's a gas station like probably like 10 minutes down the road.
Where's the cabin at? You know, it's exact. But what town is it by? Or
it's up past like right up by Cotton.
Oh, it's in Cotton.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not that far away.
It's like right next to Cloquet and all those spots.
Well, it's like up halfway to Virginia or whatever. Huh. So that Super America there is the gas station you're talking about?
No, because we normally take Highway 4.
Oh. Okay.
Rice Lake Road.
Oh, okay.
And we just keep on going.
Huh.
And there's a Porky's gas station up there.
Oh, that place is closed.
They still have a tank though, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think they do outdoor cut it anymore. Maybe they changed, but I don't know. So you're close to that gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we're kind of in the middle, cause
in the middle of Cotton and that place.
In the middle of the woods.
All right. Interesting. Cool. Well, I think that's all we got for news and zombie updates. So
zombie
take
plans.
Us out.
Thanks everybody for watching our news/zombie outbreak
special discussion.
Contingency plans.
Planning session.
Yeah. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. If you want to watch our videos, YouTube. Check us out. If you want to be a Phandom Night, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Twitter. Did I miss that one? Really?
I thought he said it, but I don't know.
Whatever. Thanks, Dustin. Anyways, that's what's been popping in pop culture.
Bye.
Peace.